Hi, I'm Peter, a product expert here at Upkeep. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to data import vendors and customers within Upkeep. So, looking at our agenda today, I'll provide a quick overview on what this is and do a demonstration so that you can get started importing right away. So let's take a look at the overview first. When you're importing vendors and customers, the max limit you can put on a CSV file is 200, and the total max number of vendors and customers you can have within your account is 1,000. And then not only can you import, but you can export this information as well. Okay, let's dive right along and demonstrate this within the app. Now, once you're logged in, you want to go to your vendors and customers section right here. And as you see, it's already right here. I have it pulled up, and you can toggle between these two boxes. So let's say I want to go ahead and import my vendors first. So you want to click on these three dots here on the top right-hand side. And then once you click on import, then a sample template will be downloaded, and you can use that to fill out your vendor CSV file. So I have one already pre-completed. So just a few rules for this. Row 1, these are your title columns. You want to keep this consistent, so don't alter information on row 1. Row 2 is always going to be sample data, so it serves as a guideline on how to fill these out. So since I'm not going to import, sample name as a vendor, I can just delete that. And then here is an example that I created. One of my vendors, Bob's Business, I filled out things like their number, their address, website, and all the other details as well. If some of these columns don't apply, then that's totally fine. Like for instance, if you don't have a website, you can leave those blank. All right, so after that's all good, you want to press save. And then once you do that, we'll click here, click on import, and then we'll click on this last box that says import your file. And then I'm going to choose that vendor file that we were just looking at. And once it's loaded successfully, you'll get that green box right there on the top right-hand side. And then it's right here in the list view. So once I click into it, all that information in the CSV file, Bob's Business, the address, phone number, and everything else is all in here, and it looks clean. Perfect. Now let's go over to customers. Very similar. You do the same thing. You click on the three dots and you click on import. And then let's take a look at how I filled that one out. So this vendors one is done. So I'm going to click out of that. So here's one for customers. Again, row 1, we want to leave consistent. Row 2 is the sample data, so I can remove that. And then here's my customer name, Corey Carson. Once I have all the information and it looks good, then I can just save it and go ahead and import. Something a little different about this one is you have, the standard phone number, address, website, but there are also things like currency code. So if you're doing US dollars, just make sure to put in USD with the currency symbol as well. All right, so that's all good there. Now let's go ahead and import that customer. So I'm going to click on import. Same thing as we did with vendors. Once I found that CSV file, I'll go ahead and import it. And that information is all right here. So I'll click on that customer, Corey Carson. Yep, everything does look good. And yeah, that is how you import vendors and customers. Now let's talk about exporting. So let's say you already have vendor and customer information on here, and you want to export this data. Let me show you how that looks like. So it's going to look very similar to your import CSV file. The only big difference is that in column A, that's going to be your vendor or customer ID. So that means it's a 10 alphanumeric character that's generated anytime you create a vendor or customer. So that's the only difference between an import and export sheet. One common mistake is some people, they try to import their vendors or customers by using this export sheet. You wouldn't be able to do that. So just make sure that when you're importing to use the correct one, not the export sheet. Okay, so that's a quick rundown on data importing vendors and customers. If you have any questions or feedback, let us know. And I hope this was helpful, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.